who've been in my yesterday's talks. So this talk is a bit different. I would rather go through this in kind of lecturing mode, and a lot of PowerPoint slides, but hopefully we can still have some fun. Okay, let's start. Can you hear me? Is it okay? Good. So curiosity, learning and innovation. And what I will be discussing is just my observation and my views on what I've seen around innovation, around agility, and etc. I once asked my father how he managed to keep teaching and searching and researching for years. And he said that there was one thing or one vision how he viewed that. He understood that there is always a corners of his knowledge. So he been walking until this corner, and then he picked behind this corner to identify a new one. And that was something that I'm also doing. So I'm trying to identify new corners of the knowledge and agility on innovation. And this is something that I want to share. But important thing what I have understood that things are getting in a very different way. And
what happens if your latest product goes global in a single bound? What happens if our fitness plans are stronger than our retirement plans? What happens if tomorrow's cars need a whole new kind of insurance? What happens if your business model changes every 4 hours? At Zurich, we consider all sorts of possibilities. It's why for over 130 years we've provided relevant, secure insurance solutions for a changing world. Zurich, because change happens.
So change happens. Change happens, and business models can change even in 4 hours. I love this movie. I love this advertising from Zurich. That was kind of special year, 2001. I don't know why, but we will see one more advertising from this time period, and they understood that something is changing. Things are changing and changing fast, and they understood that they need to keep up with inventing new business models. And since that, even bigger companies and bigger enterprises are pushed into innovation. They are pushed. They understand that they need to figure out what are the new customers' needs, and in a bit different way. And yes, change happens, and that's what we can see everywhere. And also one thing what I have seen and mentioned, that startups are doing things in a different way. They are able to understand customer unmet needs. They are able to create minimum viable solution faster than other. And they are gathering feedback to identify customers' value. And they are doing this again and again. So that's the thing that we need to maybe imitate. If you are not doing it yet, then how to imitate? Sorry for my Estonglish, Russisch, or whatever. And so okay, if this, so it's easy. So the goal should be easy. Let's satisfy customers' unmet needs faster. That's the goal for me. Being here as a Captain Obvious. And you can say to me, okay, good, so if you are so wise, so just do it, right? Go and figure out and solve it faster. But of course there is a lot of challenges and dilemmas around us and around you also. So startuppers dilemma. The question that we had before also in the service design talk, and do I really understand customers' future needs? Do I really know what to build and how to build that? So all those questions is so hard to figure out. The startup movement is so sexy. Everyone wants to have own startup, or thinking about that, or working in some startup. But it's damn hard work. If you haven't been there, then it's very hard. And quite often you are digging, and then you are finding out, okay, I tried so many different things, and I want to finish. And then somebody else is coming and taking the pot. So, and this is kind of normal for us when we are trying to do something different, to start protecting ourselves. To start thinking, okay, why the heck I'm dealing with this idea? I can go and secure my incomes working somewhere in a bigger enterprise. I can do my work what I know. I can do the stuff what I know. And that's the challenge one of the challenge when you are in startup, when you are trying to do something new. And this is quite hard, or quite often quite hard to overcome. And but if you go and you start building on it's easy to submit to this old experience and start doing in the old ways. So you start doing in the old ways, old routines, and those routines give you a feeling that, okay, I'm again successful. I'm not failing. I do things as I did it before, and it gives some results. But those old skills are not helping us to create something new. So it's like a kind of buying a franchise of skills. And if you are in McDonald's, then you are not an innovator, you're just user. So those are challenges that we need to overcome in one or another way. And again, what I see, let's repeat, focusing on customers' value creation, getting feedback faster, flat supportive organizational structure and culture, practical value delivery with agile development. This is something that we need to learn, and this is something that helps startups, good startups, successful startups to win the market. But let's start from the business again. So what's happening in the business, on the business side? Okay, I've been working for Skype, and who is using Skype? Okay, pretty much everyone. So let's talk about Skype. And if I'm asking question who is uses Skype, that's the normal situation. People are raising hands and they are smiling, and I have to admit that not so many smiles being here. This is picture from 2013. Okay, but here the thing. All those telco, okay, this Skype as such turned the telco industry and disrupted the whole market. But if we see and we check how fast market was growing, so we can see that phones, 105 years until 3 million users. Mobile phone, 25 years until 3 million users. Skype, 10 years. Instagram. So I think that this data is showing something. That is showing how fast things are moving and going. And I've been I show this picture to kids in my kids' school. And I showed exactly the same picture. I asked, okay, what do you see? So they said, okay, we need to figure out a product that we can deliver in 1 year to get 3 million people. So they've been wise. They understood that they need to figure out a way how to get to the market faster. That's the data. So that's the business. But again, with the Skype. Let's check how do we love Skype. In 2009, okay. So here is a brand awareness and how people love Skype. And you can see that in 2009 it was quite high, but it's dropping down. But for me, it's more important number is this one, young people. And only in 4 years or 2 years, young people love to Skype was changing and changing fast. So there is new people are coming, millennials, who are using the technology in a very different way. They are not using as we do. They think in different way. They use things in different way. And if we are not addressing this, old products, Skype, legacy products as Skype, will die. So, any technology company, whatever business you are in, it can live or die, and this depends only on the way how this company is able to innovate, how this company is able to address customers' needs. And here is again some examples. Okay, it's wrong direction, but it's not important. Just some example for 2012. Even bigger company as Boeing is competing against how fast they are building their planes, how fast they can develop new planes. They are not satisfied with average, because if the faster they are in delivering things, the better feedback they have, the better advantage they have in the market. So that's the thing what we facing. And here is some quotes from Steve Blank, who is Eric Ries's mentor. And Eric Ries, who knows Eric Ries? Some. Who knows Lean Startup? Bit more. Okay, Eric Ries, same as Lean Startup. So that's the mentor, and he's saying that businesses, just improving business model is not enough. You need to constantly figure out new models, new business models. And if you want to be inventive, then you need to have entirely new organizational structure and skills. New structure and new skills. The structure what you have at the moment, if you are not very super hyper innovative, is killing you. So this is something that you need to address, but then you can ask me, okay, but what is wrong with my organization structure? Why this is not helping me? Okay, let's review. So how the normal organization structure is built up? It's built up on empirical model, right? Oh, not sorry, on the deterministic model. So we have some plans here, technology, skills, what we are purchasing. If you are in HR, for example, so you know what kind of skills do you need. Then we have some kind of business model, and we have outputs. But in our world, this model works only if we always know all steps. That's the production line, right? But in our world, do we know every step? Do we know every task? Do we know all inputs? And outputs are always same? No. So the same model, being used in plant economics, deterministic model. So the model when we control, when we say, when we direct people to the goals. And this model, we know exactly what happened with this model. It doesn't work. Why? Because there is a people element. It's not a machine. It's not just let's plan everything and execute. And because of this model, maybe some of you have seen this, maybe not, but this is a well-known Chaos report from 2002. And they are saying that 64% of the features in the software are rarely or never used. If you add more sometimes, then you get 80. 80% of the features in software are not used. And this is something that we need to address, and we need to figure out why this happened, because it was planned to do, and people executed well, but they executed what wasn't needed. How many stressful days was there? So we could work only one day if we could figure out what is important, and rest 4. Just chill, do nothing, and get the same results. Topics to consider about the people been working in these organizations, on those organizations there. I hope that you are not doing this, right? How well people knew customer needs, employees, I mean. How well did they knew? How many levels of separation from customers employees had? How far your customers are from your employees? Do you know as an employee what your customers' needs are? How effective you are or they've been in influencing changes? That's the questions that it's good to address always. If you are not addressing this, then happens this kind of thing, when there is a very hierarchical structure, when the managers are aware where to go, and they are providing directions. And yes, and if, of course, employee washing up, then they see a lot of bad stuff. And the other side of this picture is, again, from the Harvard Business Review research, that 70% of successful startuppers, they planted their idea being working in bigger companies, being employee. So guys, around you, many people around you have ideas, and they are not able to execute it. They are not able to implement their thoughts and their talent into this within your organizational structure. That's the challenge that you need to think. How to get people on board, how to provide the culture in a different way, that people want to deliver something in a different way within our company. And this is also one of the first papers. It's also people coming from Toyota production system, and they've been studying industries, and they understood that relay race, or this deterministic model, when I'm passing over work to the next levels, is not helping. But what is helping us, if we move as a one team, and if we see that something is not working out, as a rugby team. So we are passing the ball to the other guy, and we are passing the ball along the way. From this paper, Scrum was thought through, and that's why Scrum is called Scrum, because it's coming from the rugby term, how to win the race. Who knows about Scrum? Good. So the structure is something that is not helping us. So please think what kind of structure do you have in your working environment. Can your structure really support this innovation? And again, Steve Blank says that, fine, putting back, yes, may show.
I see you're a Microsoft fan.
It wasn't mine, sorry, but I've been working for Microsoft also, so sometime. But I think it's not about the Microsoft, it's rather just big organization. So any big organization can have the same patterns. So, Steve Blank again. The challenge requires entirely new organizational structure and skills. Entirely new organizational structure and skills. So easy to say, right? Hard to implement. But let's go back to the roots. Agile Manifesto. If you haven't heard about that, so it's good to learn it. And I think that that's the structure, or that's the platform of the structure that we can build upon. So there is individuals and interactions, communications over processes and tools. It's not about let's write everything in Jira, or let's have everything in Jira, but let's discuss, let's agree, let's learn from each other. Working software or comprehensive documentation, okay, maybe this is now getting easier, but still. Customer collaboration, we want to talk with people, with the customers. This is good concept of going to the marketplace or going to the place from Lean, if you have heard that it's good to go and see how your users are interacting with your software, with your product. And of course responding to change, and that's the challenging part. So we need to respond, we need to learn how to respond correctly in the wise way. But one again is staying somehow. What we do in a new world is a research. User research, needs research, product research. So that's what we do. We need to go into the scientific approach of developing the products, to understanding who are our customers and what their needs are. That's why I was saying that hypothesis is good. You can identify hypothesis, what can be important to your users, and then you have experiments. You do a lot of experiments, and you are proving or disapproving this hypothesis. And this is good. That is good. So this is lean startup thinking. Okay, again, Captain Obvious. Okay, I see. I cannot buy the product. That would be franchise. I am not innovating. So what I should do? And the answer is also obvious. I will build it. I will build it my own and build it on the fly.
Some people like to climb mountains. I like to build planes in the air.
I grew up wanting to be on a wing, wanting to be up this high.
Sometimes the temperature up at altitude will reach 60 below. It's brisk, it's refreshing.
You never know what you're going to come across up here. Canadian geese, mallards,
owls. These people back here, that's why I come to work. That's why I build airplanes in the sky.
We're not just building a plane here. We're building a dream.
I love this job.
I get a lot of thanks up here. When I look over there and I see that little kid, and I look in his eyes, that's all the thanks I need.
EDS, managing the complexities of the digital economy.
So we build the business when you're up and running. So this is something that we need to do. We need to put our customers in the seats, and then we just starting moving, and we start flying, and we're building on the fly. This is something that was this promotion coming from 2001. I love this promotion, really. And this is something that is showing the way or vision where we should go and how things should be done. But let's go back to scientific background. So how this is done? This is reality. That was reality. So we need to use empirical model. What does it mean, empirical model? That means that we need to add to our deterministic models two things, crucial ones. Teams management tools, and you can call it car steering wheels. So the builders of your product, they are really racing drivers. They are drivers that are responsible to get us from the point A to the point B. They are responsible for delivering the product. And so that means that they are responsible also for driving and managing the whole building process. Not a manager. And we need a feedback. We need a feedback that gives us that, yes, of course, that was meaningful increment, that was meaningful piece of software that we can start providing or getting feedback also from the customers. So that's why this lean startup is really one thing that you should learn. If you haven't read this book, please read it. And this is something that gives us opportunity to build something. So it helps us not to build something that is not needed. We are not letting mistakes or wrong things, unneeded things, propagate into the system. So we're reducing maintenance costs by that also. We find problems earlier, much earlier, and we are minimize on-hands inventory. What is on-hands inventory in as technological business and software development? Decisions. The less decisions you have in your pipeline, the faster you are moving. If there is any decisions that need to be made and it's flying through the whole pipeline fast, then you are fast, then you are learning, then you know what you are doing. If there is a lot of decisions, unresolved issues in your pipeline, you are getting stuck. So that's the thing you need to think, or you need to constantly consider. So and the model is in a pretty much different way. Now we need to start building it in a different way, organization. So who is in the closest contact to the customer? Who is in your organization is in the closest contact to the customers? I have to say that there is a customers, they are happy with the product you are delivering. So, and I have to say that the team building this product is the closest link to your customer. Team should be aware about what they are building and why they are building and how happy customers are with the product they are providing. If they are not, then you have the picture what I showed before with this beautiful birds. Okay, so how we can call those teams? I'm calling them entrepreneurs. So they are in your company, acting as entrepreneurs, but working for you. They are responsible for business results. They are responsible for business investments. They have the money to invest. They have everything what is needed to invest and deliver the product. And then there is managers, servant leaders, people who are helping the team to work on the product, to identify needs, to provide everything, the whole needed infrastructure that will help them to deliver. And this guy is benevolent dictator for life. So somebody who is keeping the structure together and seeing the vision where we're going. And This is something that I have seen it somewhere elsewhere. Waterline. So that is something that is the responsibility of the managers to identify what is the waterline of your teams, where they can make the holes or rebuild everything, and what they cannot do. This is something that it's good. If you are a manager, then you are responsible to provide the guidelines to your teams. The same picture, a bit differently, but you always need to think about desirable features, desirable products. You can do this achieved by technology with the help of the teams. And of course, you need to understand what is sustainable and waterline. So that's the flat structure of your organization and splitted responsibility that you need to bring in. And the culture is the key. When you get this, then you have the innovation. Somewhere there, in the core, in the center. When you have technology, you have guidelines, you have desire. So that's the place of the innovation. When all mental models of managers, developers, and customers are really getting together. So what is the servant leadership? I've been building this with my team and failed a lot, but I'm still there, and I think that this is important to do it. So this servant leadership is something that maybe this metaphor can help you. So the ship that is shipping a ship, shipping a ship, shipping a ship. That's how this works. So every ship is autonomous, can provide business value, and they can deliver results. And that's the same ship from the different view. Management is behind the water, providing the infrastructure. The team is something that on top of this platform that can decide what to build and when to build it. That's the challenge what we have, and that's something that we need to address. So there is a lot of need of collaboration. We need to collaborate. And I love Alistair's approach on how he's really thinking, and if you haven't read, he is really father of Agile, one of the fathers of Agile. So he's been in Tallinn for many times, not so many, but enough. And he's saying that, okay, what do you need to do as a manager, or as an employee, as a developer? What kind of culture? First of all, lift others. Lift others. Be humble. Hard thing to do. Make progress. Deliver something meaningful. Fast. Increase safety. Create environment where people can talk, can fail, can ask questions. And of course, add energy. Make it fun and interesting to come to work. So if we sum up, so what for you today is important? Focus on customers' value creation, get feedback faster, fail faster with your team, learn from this failure, create flat, supportive organizational culture, flat, working together, and practice daily value delivery. I think that agile delivery models are any one of those good. And then you will figure out how to get these innovative products to the market, and really faster than it was done before, as my dear kids said that we need to deliver this in 1 year, I said that no, you need to deliver this in 3 months. How to deliver 3 months and 300 millions of users, satisfied users. That's the challenge. Okay, so and of course don't forget that most important thing is this is again from the same commercial, but people who are satisfied. That's the most important thing. If they are satisfied, if we are satisfied that they are satisfied, that money comes. Money comes and you can learn and earn a lot. But learning is messy, so don't be afraid of learning and then learn and failing, and that's I think the base. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Trolling more than yes.
You said that employees should know what their customers want and what's the status of the product in eyes of customers. What's the best way to do it in an organization where you have 200 employees?
I think that the approach, for example, as Spotify has, so they have feature teams delivering meaningful features. You can learn from Spotify a lot from the tech blog, but for example, anyone, if you are using Spotify, then there is player buttons, and those player buttons are delivered by one team across all platforms. So they are responsible. That's the team, and they are responsible to get the best result and best user experience across all platforms.
Yeah, but how is the feedback delivered from the customers to the actual people who are building it? What's the how the feedback reaches to the developers?
They are implementing instruments into the products, and they are measuring. So everything is around measuring, learning how people are satisfied. Also A/B testing and smaller incremental rollout. So
using telemetry.
Yes, sure. That's just, you cannot do, if you have millions of users, as we have in Skype. So then there is no any other way how to do that. Yes.
How do you make a bigger company into flat?
I believe that this is starting with these benevolent dictators. So that's the management culture first. So that's how things are happening. If you have management culture that is hierarchical, you need to start with management. That's the goal. That's what I'm dealing quite often. So we deal with the management, and I'm helping them to understand that, okay, guys, if you want to achieve those goals, you need to start changing yourself first.
Yeah, but how do you direct, for example, if you have thousands of employees, how to direct them in any way if you don't have any structural management?
Okay, I have to say that I don't have experience with working on thousands or changing or transforming thousands of employees.
Hundreds, let's say hundreds.
Hundreds of employees is not so hard if you have I'm working with the management and owners, and then first we're reviewing the product and also composing this product by feature-based team, and then if you have this already in place, then they are responsible for delivering results, and the management is just need to support them and provide all needed tools.
And they also think what they should do with those features, how to develop them, so nobody interacts.
Yes, of course there is some sustainability, as I said, that if you need to have mainframe somewhere, very big one and so on, that costs gazillion dollars, then you will not have it. But within the structure, within those boundaries, sure.
I work for a company, 2,000 people. I think the problem is not the flattening of the organization, because the small parts or teams are working as a flat organization. But the problem is information exchange between them, the two small teams.
It's a mindset as well, and corporate culture in this information exchange.
Yeah, different things. sometimes, but yes, you need to identify what is really preventing there. But yes, sometimes communication, sometimes mostly still mental model or culture. Why? Because I learned, you know, that's interesting. If you go even to founders of startups, they quite often saying, oh, I know everything, I know. And they are quite ignorant. They are thinking that they're thinking in this way. If I manage to get to this success in the way I've been doing this, then I'm right. And you know, to change this kind of attitude is woo-hoo, quite hard. So they are basing on the structure and skills that they learned, or they are basing the whole this enterprise, and they think that that's the right way. So that's the challenge. Old skills are not helping. So always assuming that maybe I'm wrong, maybe there is a new way, better way to solve things. That's the key. Okay, I think that I have to finish. Yes, thank you very much. I'm here, and see you in the next event.